And welcome back to the ME7 podcast. Myself and James today delighted to be joined by Gillingham, our head of recruitment at the club, Mr. Andy Hessenthaler. Andy, firstly, thank you for your time.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you. No worries. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, James, a wonderful guest to have on today, and a lot of good stuff to get through today as well.
Yeah, 100%. Hess is, we all know he's a Gills legend, and it's great to see him back at the club in a different role now.
Yeah, so Hess, obviously we had a plan of where to start off, going with the news that came out earlier on this afternoon about our pre-season plans for the summer. So in July we're heading to Como. Was it Como in Italy for a pre-season game, a few days over there. Just tell us about how that came about. Obviously, it was mentioned in the fans forums from Brad and Shannon that they wanted to take us somewhere in Europe over the summer to get the new experience for fans to come over as well. Just how important is it to get something like that in the books, of course, with fans being able to attend as well?
Yeah, I think it's important to get the players away from the training ground because they spend so much time there during the season. So a different environment, new players coming to the football club, bonding session, as they say, is really important because obviously it's a really long season ahead of us. So I think it's great that the boys can get away. Obviously, it's a new venue for most people. I don't think anyone's been to Como before. I think the link comes through Dennis Wise. Paul Scally obviously knows Dennis Wise really well. So Dennis is I think he's the CEO of Como. So that's where it's come from, and I think it's going to be a great little journey for the boys and the management team. Obviously playing a game out there as well. So, and it's not particularly that far. I think it's about an hour and 15 minutes on the plane. So it'd be great to see some fans over there to watch the game as well.
Yeah, James, gives us a great opportunity as well. We're not used to following Gills being able to go overseas, as it were, to go and watch a game. So it's a good opportunity for fans as well, isn't it? I think me and you will both probably be going.
Yeah, 100%. I've already looked at flights and where's the best possible place to stay and everything else. So it's really, really exciting, and I think it just goes to show I don't know if you agree with this, Hess, but the club is going in that certain direction now, isn't it? Is that that direction of sort of proper pre-season? Things are being done right, sort of on and off the pitch, and everyone says that if you get the preparation right at the start of the season, then you're only going to have a good season as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we've been lucky over the years. We have had some really good trips as well. I mean, when I was playing, we did have some good trips, and I think it is so important because we are going to be bringing new players to add to the group. Hopefully by that time that trip's on, that will be the case. As we all know, sometimes you don't get players until, and in the Tony Pulis days, I remember we didn't get players until right before the first week of the season starts. That sometimes happens because it takes a little bit longer, but we're hoping to get our business done pretty early so Neil can have the squad early together and they can work together. It's an intensive training camp. It'll be hard training, and obviously we'll have a game as well. But I think it just shows you that we're doing the club's doing things the right way. The infrastructure's right now. It's been a tough few years. Obviously, Brad's come in now, and we've got a real structure about the club, and it's exciting times. So it's going to be a great trip for everybody, and I'm not sure if the director of football and the head of recruitment is going to get invited, but we'll have to wait and see.
You said there about trying to get business done early. Of course, we have got one piece of business done. The piece that I think a lot of Gills fans put on the top of their shopping list is one of the most important parts of this summer, and it's come to fruition very, very early on indeed. I think it was only a week after our final game of the season at Southall, or around that time, that it was announced that Conor Masterson would be returning to the club on a permanent deal, obviously after 2 successful loan spells, one at the back end of the season just gone. And obviously since January onwards for this current season, it's just about to be finished in the EFL. We obviously knew Conor was someone everyone wanted to get in. Just how important was it to get that deal over the line as quick as you did in the end?
Yeah, I think that was a big one. I haven't really seen loads of Conor, obviously only just coming into this role. So I saw him play a couple of times, as you say, when he came on loan before. But I've been the games I've seen this season since he's been back, he's been exceptional, you know. So I think it's a bit of a coup for us, that one, because he had other interests from other clubs. I think he showed everybody that he wants to be at Gillingham, just the way he played, but just the way he celebrated as well. You know, I watched some of his celebrations after a game and when we've won, or you know, or someone scored. It's you can see he's a real team player, and we've really got a good player at the club now for the future. And you know, he's you know, I've spoken to a number of people about him before, and now he's come, and they all say you know, what a great lad he is, and what a footballer he is. And you know, I've been really impressed with him, and it's exciting. It was great that we did the business, and he wanted to come to Gillingham because, you know, I think there was a few League One clubs that were also sniffing him as well. And you know, he decided to come and make it permanent at Gills. So that's credit to everybody at Gillingham, really, and Neil and everybody involved, that you know, we're that attractive club now.
And James, it goes ahead with what you were saying earlier about the trip and the ambition of the club. I think getting Conor in this early just is a clear signifier of that ambition, isn't it?
100%, 100%. He was number one target for me as a fan. I think we kept something like 16 clean sheets last season, and the majority of that was kept with Conor and Max at the helm of it. And they always say that if you have a good centre back partnership, look at the year we won the league with Leon and Adam playing centre half together. They were excellent, and I can see sort of the same in Conor and Max. They're both experienced boys now, and Conor's just that first piece of the jigsaw, I think.
Yeah, so Hess, let's go into your role now of head of recruitment. Obviously, Gillingham is your club. Everyone would recognise it as your club. You said as much yourself. When the opportunity came about to go into this role and come back to the football club, how easy a decision was it for you to make, and how have you found rejoined us in this role? How is your day-to-day activity? Sort of, if you can talk us through what you have to do for your job in a role, especially during a transfer window as well.
Yeah, I mean, it came about. You know, it nearly came about earlier on at the start of the season, because obviously I've known Neil for some time, and you know, obviously played with him at Gills when he came on loan. So I nearly went to Mill with him at one stage on the coaching staff. So kept in touch with Neil quite a bit. Obviously the club was in a bit of a precarious position at the start of the season financially, and Paul was looking to get an investor in, or you know, a new owner, and you know, so at that stage, you know, it didn't come to fruition. So. And then obviously Brad's come into the club in January, and you know, we've got a real football department now, and we've been able to do that obviously with Brad coming in. So that's how it came about. I spoke to Neil phoned me, Paul phoned me as well, Paul Scally, and said, look, you know, there's an opportunity now to get this department together in terms of the football department. We're bringing Kenny in as director of football, and would you like to come in and do the head of recruitment role? So that's how it came about. It's something I've always been interested in. Listen, don't get me wrong, I love playing, and probably playing's the best thing ever. Managing and coaching, really enjoyed that as well, absolutely. But, you know, this is a role that I feel is it's one of my strengths. You know, I feel as I can identify players, and that's important as a recruitment team. And you know, it's exciting that I can actually take that role up. And my role now is to make sure that we're identifying the right players for the football club, not just at senior level, but at youth level as well. So it's, you know, the bigger picture, the pathway to the first team as well, which at times over the years, perhaps we have missed the younger players because of the infrastructure. But we've got a chance now to, you know, make sure that doesn't happen. So, you know, my role, as I say, day-to-day role is really out watching a lot of games. We've got a real good list of players that we're talking to at the moment for, obviously, the window at the moment with summer transfer targets. We're talking to many agents and many players. I don't think we need loads of players to come in. We've got a real good core of the squad to start the pre-season. Something Neil didn't certainly have last year. I think he had about 6 or 7 players in pre-season. So we've got a real good basis of the squad there now, and we need to add to that. Obviously, if we're going to get promoted, because obviously the remit this year is the new season is we all done our jobs in terms of staying up last year. It's now a different pressure in terms of we all want to get promoted, don't we? And that's our aim. So yeah, I mean it's an exciting role because you're out watching players, and that doesn't mean to say just watching players in England. It's it gives us an opportunity of going to different countries into Europe. We're certainly looking at the Irish and the Scottish market as well. So I've got 2 guys working underneath me. Obviously, Kenny's director of football, that's recruitment as well because he's director of football. Neil's obviously the manager, and so we're all involved in the recruitment side of it really, and 2 guys that work under me as well. So we've got a real good team now in terms of trying to identify players. And it's my job, and along with the others, to make sure we get the right ones in for Neil and give him a real chance to get promoted.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting summer for sure. Obviously, with last few years, of course, we've been going as transfer markets, knowing that perhaps we can't compete with the top teams in our division or back in the was then. But obviously, when we're in a different market, obviously it helps you as well, I suppose, knowing that we can look at players who potentially, a few years ago might have been a bit more unattainable.
Yeah, but it also makes it quite hard for us as well because now we have got like a budget, as they say, a bigger budget with Brad coming in. Players now we identify and agents actually know that, so it becomes hard when it comes to the finances because everybody thinks we've got we've got a ceiling, absolutely got a ceiling. We've got a budget to work with, and it's going to be a real competitive budget to try and get us promoted. But some of the stories you hear and some of the agents you speak to, some of the numbers are ridiculous. But it's that's what goes around when you're able to do what we did in January. Unfortunately, some of these players are going to cost us a little bit more than we'd like to pay, but we know that that's what it comes with. And but for us to get promoted next season, we have to find some of these signature signings to go along with what we've already got.
Hess, I guess just to sort of round it off, because I know we're sort of tight for time. How are we sort of doing with contract updates, sort of progress with players and everything else? I know you can't obviously go into too much, but
we're really happy at the moment. Unfortunately, like any recruitment, any manager, a lot of players finish the season and they go away on holiday. There's a lot of players away on holiday. We've had some really good meetings though already with players, and I don't think all the ones that we've targeted are good targets. We've had no knockbacks from them. They all want to meet us. That's the good thing for us. They all want to meet us. The agents want to, but so do the players. That bodes well for us. That these players want to come and meet us to talk to us as well. I think that's why all of a sudden, because we've become a little bit more attractive now. And people understand what we're trying to do at Gillingham. So all of a sudden, these players we're targeting want to be part of that, hopefully. So, but it's going really well. Obviously, everybody wants us to announce some signings quickly, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that. But I can assure that everybody that there will be some new signings, and hopefully in the coming weeks, and certainly before perhaps we go back to pre-season, there'll be some announcements. But we're working really hard behind the scenes. I say it's a lot of phone calls, a lot of meetings between us all, and all I can say is they're very positive at the moment, without actually, as you say, telling you who they are, because I wouldn't be able to do that. but they're positive. They're the targets that we feel that we need to add to the squad in position and squad planning. The squad planning is really important for Neil, that we get the balance right of the squad. You know, and I don't think it probably needs to take a genius to work out perhaps where we need to strengthen. So, you know, all I would say is they're positive talks at the moment, and hopefully there's some news in the coming weeks for all